Hello students! Today we'll be learning about living and non-living things. This is the first of the two-part lesson, and at the end of the lesson you should be able to recognize that all living things and non-living things are made up of matter. List the 3 states of matter, and finally, list and distinguish characteristics of living and non-living things. According to scientists around the world, we can categorize things around us as living things and non-living things. Living things. Living things are things that have life in them, either plants or animals. While non-living things are the things that do not have any form of life in them. Both living and non-living things are said to possess a common feature, which is matter. What is matter, you ask? Well, matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Matter itself can also be grouped under either the living category or the non-living category, which we'll discuss later in this lesson when we are distinguishing the characteristics of living and non-living things. Matter itself has 3 states: solid, liquid, gaseous. Solid matter. This is a state where objects have a definite shape and volume. Things in this state are difficult to compress together. Liquid matter. This state is characterized as having volume but no definite shape. Now, this is because the particle components of this state are not close together as that of the solid state, which gives it its definite shape. Gaseous matter. This state is characterized as having no matter and no shape as a result of its particle components, which are not close together. This makes it easy for things in this state to move around freely. Now, let's take a look at the characteristics of both living and non-living things. 1. Movement. This is the ability for all living organisms to move from one place to another, make adjustments to body parts, or as a response to stimuli in their environments. 2. Respiration. This is a process in which oxygen is taken in to break down food in reference to human and animals. Then carbon dioxide is then released, which is then used by plants to produce food. 3. Nutrition. This involves the taking in of food to aid the health of living organisms or things. 4. Irritability. This refers to the ability of living things or organisms to respond to conditions in their external environment. These responses are referred to as stimuli. 5. Growth. This is an increase in the size, mass, and height of an organism. 6. Excretion. This is the removal of waste products from the system of the organism that is not useful to them. 7. Reproduction. This is the ability to produce young ones similar to the organism. 8. Death. This is the eventual end of an organism. This organism, when buried, will eventually act as manure for the plants. The characteristics of living things can be easily remembered by the phrase Mr. Niger D, which is formed using the first letter of each characteristic. Now, let's take a look at the characteristics of non-living things. Non-living things do not require food for energy. They do not excrete. They do not produce young ones. They do not respond to stimuli. They are made up of atoms. Now, this brings us to the end of this lesson. Today, we learned the meaning of living and non-living things, as well as the characteristics of living and non-living things. We also learned about matter and the 3 different states of matter. See you in the next lesson, where we will learn more about living and non-living things.